Hello, everyone out there in Rumble X and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego. And today we're going to talk some more about Wicked for Good, that movie that you already forgot about. I almost forgot about it, but I can't because I promised to review the whole damn thing. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, I'm going to finish reviewing this damn movie. I already reviewed the last movie from last year. So now I got to finish it up and do this one. So that's what I'm doing here. I know you don't care. Nobody cares about this movie, but I can't just stop reviewing a movie, before I'm done. I mean, I have to go through every single scene. We got to talk about this thing. Okay, I said I was going to talk about it, so I'm going to finish it. A man of my word. Okay, and Wicked is something that I enjoyed. I enjoyed the book that I read over 20 years ago. I listened to this whole damn thing over 20 years ago. Okay? And I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I never saw the Broadway show until last year. I saw it on YouTube. Okay? So I saw Christine Chenoweth and Idina Menzel play these characters on stage. Okay? There was a big difference from the book and the Broadway play. And then when I saw the movie from last year, I realized they based this on the Broadway show, not on the book. Okay, lots of characters left out, lots of things, lots of inconsistencies, things like that. So it's all a big mess. Okay, but this book was written by a gay guy. Okay, about his own personal experiences. Okay, about having the hots for the most popular guy in school. Unfortunately, he's straight, so he couldn't get with that guy. So what does he do? He writes Wicked. Now nobody cares that some ugly gay guy can't get with a straight guy. Nobody cares about that. Okay. Just like a Stranger Things. That should tell you right there. Okay, nobody cares about that. In fact, it turns people off. It turns people off, and nobody's going to want to read a book. Okay, you have to go into like the gay section of an adult bookstore to get a story like that. Okay, but mainstream, nobody wants to watch that crap. Okay, no straight guy, okay, is going to spend their money to watch a movie about that. Okay, and I'm pretty sure most women wouldn't either. Okay, yeah, so you can't sell a book like that. So what does he do? He turned himself, Gregory Maguire, the author, he turned himself into an ugly woman. Instead of being an ugly guy, he's an ugly woman. That's probably what he sees himself as. He's a woman on the inside. But men don't find him attractive. Why not? Oh, I wonder why. Because most men are straight. Okay, I'm gonna share a secret with you. Okay, that most of you don't realize. Definitely, people in Hollywood don't realize this. Okay, but I'm gonna share you this secret. Okay, and this is it. Okay, the truth is, most men, not all men, most men, the majority of men are straight. That means they're attracted. They're sexually attracted to women. Okay. The idea that there's men out there that are sexually attracted to other men, to a straight guy, that's disgusting. Okay, it has nothing to do with homophobia. Everyone has the right to have whatever sexual life they want, okay? But most straight men don't want to see two guys kissing each other. Most straight men do not watch gay porn, okay? They don't. Because it's gross. To us, it's gross. We're not saying there's anything wrong with it. We're just saying it's not our thing. It's like Indian food, right? How many of you out there have ever eaten Indian food? Okay, I ate it once and it was gross. It was gross and I've never eaten Indian food again. Gross. Does that mean I hate India? I hate Indian people? No, it doesn't. Not at all. I have no problem with Indian people at all. I just don't like their food. You see what I mean? So I'm not going to eat it. All right? Most guys find gay stuff gross. It's gross. So not only are we not going to partake in it, we're not going to spend our money watching other people do that. You see what I mean? To us, it's not appealing. It's not what we want. Okay? So if we're invested in something and everything's looking good, we're feeling good, all of a sudden you hit us with the gay shit. It's like, oh God, why do we have to go there? Why the fuck do we have to go there, dude? You know, it's just we don't want to see that. And it's not because we're homophobic. It's just because we find it gross. And we have every right to find something gross. I'm pretty sure straight people find heterosexual sex gross. Okay? But does that mean we're going to get rid of heterosexuality? Okay? No. You see what I'm talking about? All right? And they're trying to project something, okay? The wokeness is they want to, they're so high up on representation, they got to throw their sexuality into stuff that is mostly watched by straight people. Most of the world is straight, okay? Hollywood doesn't want to tell you this. They don't want to admit this, but it's fucking true. And instead of you fucking loving the gay stuff, they're telling you there's something wrong with you for not liking it. Okay, they're telling you if you're a guy and you don't fuck another guy, that means you're homophobic. You see what I mean? That's the culture. That's the Hollywood culture. Okay, that's the wokeness. Okay, it's like if you're white and you don't date a black person, okay, you're racist. No, you're not. No, you're not. You date whoever the fuck you want to. Who you date is no one else's business but your own. You see what I mean? So like, so what's with the judging people over that? It's ridiculous. It's disgusting. It's gross. Okay, and Hollywood doesn't want to admit that. That's why they're losing money. That's why nobody's watching their shit. That's why everyone's fucking watching other stuff. You know, they're watching streaming. Okay, but the thing about streaming is that if you show something on streaming that people don't like, you just watch another show. Okay, but if you spent your money, if you spent $25 to go see a movie, you know, and they give you gay stuff and you didn't expect that at all, it wasn't in the trailer or nothing like that, you're going to be like, what the fuck did I waste my money on? That's what I'm talking about. And to make things worse, if you complain about it, the people that made the movie are going to tell you there's something wrong with you. You see, and who wants that? Okay, so what business does the company have the right to insult the customer? Okay, you know what business Hollywood does? Hollywood does. Okay? They insult their viewers. They insult the people that spent their money to go see their stuff, and that's why they're going broke. Okay? There was a system in Hollywood, okay? It's basically you give people what they want. Now, this movie, Wicked here, it gave people what they wanted. Not in this case, not successfully. The last movie did, I think, $800 million. Okay? Wicked Part 1. This one has not done anywhere near that. In fact, I'm going to look it up right now. What has Wicked for Good done? Okay, box office wise. Okay, so right now this is like what, its third week in release. It came out, it came out November 21st. Okay, so it's been over a month. Okay, it's made $504 million. Okay, not bad. $504 million on supposedly $150 million budget. Now that doesn't include marketing. Okay, so it's made $504 million. Okay, let's see how Wicked Part 1 did. Just Wicked Part 1. Okay. Same budget, $150 million. Wicked Part 1 made $759 million. Okay? It's a big difference. Okay? Big difference. Okay, we're talking about, so it's about $760 million it made. Okay, $760 million. So we're talking about a difference here of about $250 million. Okay, $255 million difference from Wicked 1 to Wicked 2. Okay, it made Wicked for Good made $255 million less than Wicked 1. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you why that is. Okay, it's because the first one you could do more things. Okay, because there was no backstory for the Wicked Witch of the West or Glinda. Okay, or the Land of Oz or any of that stuff. Okay, so you can make up everything. Okay, make it all take place in land. It's a prequel. It's a prequel to the Wizard of Oz from 1939, the one that everybody remembers. Okay, the 1939 Wizard of Oz. Okay, with what's her name? Judy Garland. Sorry, Judy Garland. Okay, that one. Okay, that's the one everyone remembers. Okay, I know no one read the book. Okay, so you made a prequel to that and it worked. Okay, so here's who these characters are. Interesting. I wonder what's going to happen when this character, who supposedly is the Wicked Witch of the West, but doesn't act like her at all, looks like her, despite the fact she's played by a black woman, and Margaret Hamilton, who's not black, played the original. Doesn't matter. Okay, this person, okay, does not act like the Wicked Witch of the West at all. Okay, what's going to happen when Dorothy arrives? How are they going to reconcile these things? This good woman who looks evil, okay, when Dorothy shows up and then she teams up with her friends, how are they going to reconcile that story? Okay, well, they couldn't. They couldn't, okay? But they promised it. They promised it in the first movie last year. Now we get a second movie this year, which takes place during the events of the Wizard of Oz, okay, concurrently. They couldn't reconcile it at all. Okay, they had to make something up. They had to sideline things. They had to leave out things. Okay, we never see Elphaba and Dorothy meet each other like we did in the original movie. They met right in the beginning. Okay, remember Dorothy met the Munchkins when she landed in Oz. She met the Munchkins first, then she met Glinda, and then right after that she met the Wicked Witch of the West. Boom, 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 just like that. Here in this movie, Dorothy doesn't even meet Elphaba until right before she dies, when she takes her prisoner and locks her in the crawl space or something, right? Locks her in the basement or whatever it is, okay? The trap door. She locks her in there. That's the first time they meet each other. That makes no sense. That makes no sense at all, okay? She met the Wicked Witch of the West early on, right after she got to Oz, okay? So that doesn't reconcile very well. So they just left that out. And once you start seeing things like that, it's like, okay, wait a minute. There's no way that this movie can take this character in this movie, these characters can take place at the same time as the Wizard of Oz. There's no way that could happen. And it can't. It can't. Okay? None of it really makes sense. Okay? Even Nyssa Rose, okay, Elphaba's sister, the Wicked Witch of the East, she called herself the Wicked Witch of the East, and she did it right before, a few minutes before she died. So how the hell would the whole Munchkin land call her that? Okay? She didn't even think of that term for herself. You see what I mean? Until a few minutes before she died. So nobody would have called her that. You see? That's ridiculous. Okay? The fact that Bach is the Tin Man, and yet he doesn't recognize his college friend Fiyero as the Scarecrow. Okay? Look at, even though he's a Scarecrow, his face is just like Fiyero. Okay? So clearly it's the same guy. All right? It's, you know, and that's never mentioned, okay? So the Tin Man's a liar. He doesn't need a heart. He just wants to find Elphaba and chop her up with his axe. Does that sound like the guy who was singing about "If I Only Had a Heart," who was crying all the time? No, it doesn't. This Tin Man was a psychopath, an angry psychopath. He was bragging about how he's gonna kill the Wicked Witch of the West, like that. Like, who the hell is this guy? This ain't the lovable Tin Man, you know. The Scarecrow, okay, so that's Elphaba's love interest. That's Fiyero. Okay, now he's got turned into a Scarecrow. So, like, he accidentally meets Dorothy and tells Dorothy he needs a brain when he doesn't. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's setting up Dorothy. He's manipulating her so that he can get her to go to the wizard, even though he knows damn well the wizard's not a real wizard. He has no powers. He's going to tell her, let's go see the wizard, just like Glinda did, even though Glinda knows the wizard has no powers. Let's go see the wizard, and the wizard will get you back home. So that's a lie. And Scarecrow and Glinda knew it was a lie, but they told Dorothy to do it anyway. Why? Okay, apparently it's because Fiyero and Elphaba planned to fake her death so that they could walk off into the sunset together. Literally, walk off into the sunset together. Okay, but in order to do that, they had to fake Elphaba's death. You see what I mean? So this whole convoluted plan requires Scarecrow successfully manipulating Dorothy to go to Oz, and then hoping that the wizard would send Dorothy to go kill Elphaba, and then convincingly trick Dorothy into killing Elphaba, and then coming back on your own, not knowing if Dorothy's going to get home or not, coming back to the castle and freeing Elphaba from the cellar so that you all can run off together. This is ridiculous. This is fucking ridiculous. Okay, there's no way the events of this movie could fit into the Wizard of Oz. It can't happen. The Cowardly Lion, okay, he hated Elphaba. He blamed her for kidnapping him when he was a cub, which she did not do. It was actually, well, she did, but it was Fiyero was the one that actually let him loose. So why is he mad at her about that? If he had stayed a cub inside a cage, he never would have developed the ability to speak. Okay, you see what I mean? So by releasing him into the wild, he learned to talk. I have no idea how that makes sense, but that's one of the rules of Oz. Okay, if you grow up in a cage, you lose the ability to speak. If you were an animal and you used to be able to speak, but then you get caged for a couple of years, you lose the ability to speak. Like that's what happened to Dr. Dillamond. Okay, so that makes no sense either. Okay, there was a huge migrant caravan of animals that were escaping the land of Oz through a tunnel underneath the Yellow Brick that they dug through the Yellow Brick Road. Okay, these people were leaving Oz because they were being persecuted by the wizard. All the humans of Oz have turned against the animals. Okay, they were locking them up in cages. They were sending them into gas chambers, all that kind of stuff, right? So the animals were trying to escape. They were escaping persecution. They were fleeing to America, okay, from Eastern Europe. Oh, no, sorry. That's another Holocaust. Okay, so they're fleeing, right? Okay, the lion is scared to death. He's a cowardly lion, okay? He knows that human beings are trying to capture him and kill him and torture him. Why the fuck would he stay? Why would he stay? Elphaba's telling him, no, stay. This is your land too. I'll protect you. He hates Elphaba, so he had no reason to believe anything that she would say. So why would he stay in Oz? Why didn't he leave with the thousands of other animals that were escaping Oz? If he was truly terrified, he would have left with the other animals. But he didn't. He stayed. Why? Why on earth would he stay? You see what I mean? It makes no sense at all. Oh, because he wants courage. The wizard is going to give him courage? Okay, Elphaba already told all the animals that the wizard is a fraud. Everybody knows the wizard is fake. He's not a real wizard. He has no powers. He can't give you anything. You see what I mean? So why would the cowardly lion think that if he goes to see the wizard, he's going to get courage? Okay, Elphaba already told him the wizard's a fraud. Not only that, okay, the wizard hates animals. So why would he want to do anything for the cowardly lion? It makes no sense. Now I'm getting pissed off. All right. Damn. All right. Real quickly, let me get this over with here. Diego knows at Knows Diego. That right there. Okay. That is my ex. Okay. That's my ex right there. All these videos I make, I post there as well. And Diego de la Vega knows that right there. Okay, that is my Rumble. Okay, that's Rumble right there. Diego de la Vega knows. Okay, all these videos go there because you never know. You know, YouTube is owned by Google. You know, they're all woke over there. So you know, they don't like what I'm saying. They're gonna take down my video, shadow ban me, whatever. They do it to everybody that they don't like. You know that. You know that's true. All right. So let's get on with the review. All right. Now, where we left off last time, okay, we've had Glinda and Elphaba. Okay, they are in Fiyero's castle, the dark, moody castle from The Wizard of Oz, right? But unlike the original Wizard of Oz movie, there are no green-skinned Cossacks there, you know, no soldiers. There's flying monkeys, there's flying blue monkeys, but there's no soldiers. Remember the Cossacks that had green skin and long noses just like the witch did? Obviously, they were the same race. But no, they're left out of this. They're not even in there. Remember in the original movie, it was the lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, they had to beat up a bunch of those Cossacks. Yes, the Russian Cossacks. To beat them up and put on their uniforms in order to sneak into the castle. Remember that? Well, none of that's here. In fact, the Tin Man ain't there, the Cowardly Lion ain't there, the Scarecrow ain't there. They're not there. So Elphaba apparently is yelling at Dorothy. We don't see Dorothy, okay, and locks her up into the what do you call it? Into the cellar. Okay, locks her in the cellar. Okay, and tells her that you need to give me those shoes. Okay, and quit crying about your Auntie M or whatever her name is, you know, and you need to give me those shoes, but locks her in the cellar. Glinda shows up and tells her, let her go. And Elphaba's like, no, I don't have to let her go. I can do whatever I want. I'm the Wicked Witch of the West. Haven't you heard? That's what they call me now. Blah, 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 you know. And Glinda's telling her, this needs to end. You got to stop it. And she's like, you're right. It does need to end. And she draws herself a pail of water, a bucket of water. Okay. Because apparently for some unfucking known reason, it makes no sense at all. People seem to think that water is going to kill Elphaba. It'll kill the Wicked Witch of the West. Although it's never been shown that it will. We've never seen like Elphaba like get hit with a drop of water and it burned her skin. Nothing like that's ever happened. So it's never explained why people think that water will kill Elphaba. It's never been shown to hurt her. Now in the book, it did most definitely did hurt her. But in the book, in this book here, okay, water did kill Elphaba. She was allergic to it. Okay, she had to clean herself with olive oil. She couldn't take a bath. She couldn't take a shower. She couldn't go swimming. Okay, it would have killed her. And I'm going to spoil it for you. In the book, she actually did die. She didn't fake her death. Okay, she actually did die. For Dorothy did kill her. But in the book, from what I remember, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow were not there when it happened. Okay, but the lion was there. The Cowardly Lion was there. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, so Glinda shows up, tries to talk her out of, tell her to let go of Dorothy. Okay, you know, and what do you call it? Basically, Elphaba is telling Glinda, hey, listen, it's time for me to die. I have to die. Okay, and Glinda says like, no, you don't. In fact, I'll go back to Oz and I'll tell everybody that the wizard lied about you, that you're not an evil person, you're not wicked at all, you're actually a very good person, you're my best friend. She's like, no, don't tell anyone the truth about me. Okay, you have to stay good. And the only way people are going to believe that you are good is that they believe that I'm evil. Okay, so we have to keep that lie going. Okay, now in the last video I talked about this. Okay, this is the same plot from The Dark Knight. Okay, with Batman, the Christian Bale Batman and Heath Ledger movie. Okay, whereas Batman had to tell Commissioner Gordon, hey, you need to make sure that everyone thinks that I killed Two-Face, that I killed Harvey Dent. They need to think that I'm the one that killed the district attorney, okay? Because if they don't, if you tell them the truth, okay, that I was trying to save them, they're going to find out that the district attorney went crazy after his face got scarred in half, and he started killing people. And if that happens, everybody that district attorney put in jail is going to get released, okay? We can't let that happen. So we need to keep him a hero, okay? Blame me for him dying. Tell everybody that I killed him. That way the cops will be looking for me. They're not going to investigate him. Okay, you see what I mean? That's why he did. He took that on. Okay, and that's what Elphaba's doing here. She's taking on the role of Wicked. Okay, blame me. Let me be the evil one. As long as I'm the evil one, that makes you the good one. Okay? So I understand what she's doing here. Okay, so of course, this is basically their goodbye here. Okay, Elphaba gives Glinda the Grimoire. That's the magic book that nobody can read except for her. How did she learn to read it? We don't fucking know. I guess because she was born with green skin. She automatically gives her the ability to telekinesis and also and mind reading and seeing the future. Okay, and all that shit. Okay, apparently that gives you that ability, being born with green skin. So that's going on, and she can read the Grimoire. Okay, so all that's going on here. Okay, they sing to each other, you know, for good, you know, because I knew you, all that kind of crap. They sing that to each other, you know, blah blah. Elphaba goes into this big speech about how she's limited. Okay, that she can't do the things that normal people can do because of the way that she looks. She's very powerful, the most powerful person in Oz. Okay, she can fly around on her broomstick. She can cast spells. Okay, she has telekinesis. She can do anything she wants. She can kill the wizard anytime she wants. I don't know why she's trying to struggle against him. It makes no sense at all. Okay, there's nothing the wizard can do to her. Okay, he has no powers at all. She's the one with all the power. She can kill him anytime she wants. Just because to fly to his castle and fucking kill him, but she won't do it. Instead, she's gonna let everyone smear her in propaganda. Okay, and fear her, and she's gonna hide in the fucking treehouse. That makes no sense at all. All right. Anyway, but she's screaming about the things that she can't do. She can't have people like her. People cannot like her because they can't get past the way she looks. Okay, and so that's always been a hinderment to her. Okay, she can't make friends. Okay, Glinda's the only friend she's ever had. Okay, because of the way that she looks. Okay, and even Glinda hated her when they first met. So, you know, that's her problem, okay? Nobody can get past her looks. Like a gay guy, nobody can get past his look. The fact that it's a guy, you know? So that's what she takes to heart, okay? And it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for her. It works well in the story, but it doesn't work for her that people can't get past her looks. So she's just going to give up. Okay, look, I'm never going to be pretty. I'm never going to look normal. People are never going to treat me normal. So fine, I accept that. Okay, you need to be the person that I wish that I could be. You need to be the figurehead for Oz that I'll never be. Blah blah blah. Gives her the Grimoire book. All right, because I knew you, and all that kind of shit goes on. And then she throws Glinda into a closet with the door cracked open. They hold the door against each other for a while, I guess to say a silent goodbye. And then Elphaba goes to confront Dorothy, who's locked up in the cellar. Okay, now Glinda peeks through the doorway, and she only sees the shadows. She sees the silhouettes of their confrontation. She doesn't actually see Dorothy's face. She sees her back. especially when she walks past her frame of view. But she doesn't actually see Dorothy's face. We never see Dorothy's face in this movie, okay? So we see the shadow. We see Elphaba with her Wicked Witch laugh, doing all that, yelling or about something. There's a commotion, okay? Okay, so that's all that's going on. Dorothy, what do you call it? She sees through the silhouette, and Dorothy's throwing the water. She sees the shadow, the silhouette of Dorothy throwing the bucket of water onto Elphaba. Okay, we see the shadows of that happening, just like in the Broadway show. Okay, throwing the water into Elphaba through the and then we see rockets exploding in the air for some reason. I don't know what that's all about. Creating flashes of light. So we see flashes of light that show Dorothy throwing the water onto Elphaba. We never hear their conversation. Okay, there's no scarecrow there. There's no guards, no Cossacks there. Elphaba did not set the scarecrow on fire, and then Dorothy grabbed the water and threw it to put the fire out and accidentally hit the witch. That doesn't happen like it did in the movie. Okay, Dorothy just picks up the water and throws it. Why the hell Dorothy would think that water would kill Elphaba makes no sense. Okay, and why she would do that makes no sense at all. Okay, I forgot the reason in the book. Okay, but in the movie, why would she do that? It makes no sense at all. Okay, Dorothy's not a killer. She killed her by accident. This movie makes it look like Dorothy did it on purpose. You see what I mean? That's why it doesn't reconcile with the original movie. Okay, so that's going on here. So there's water on Elphaba. Through the rockets, we see the flashes of light. We hear Elphaba's dying scream, okay? We see Dorothy walks over the puddle of water, and all we see is Elphaba's hat. Okay, that broomstick, that tipped hat that she wears all the time, okay? She sees the hat there on the floor. Now, how the hell did Elphaba manage to sneak her body under the crawl space and then close the floor doors without Dorothy seeing that? Was Dorothy not looking? Did Elphaba go like, ah? And then Dorothy turned around, and then Elphaba opened up the fucking floor doors, came back, left her hat up there, came back down, locked it up. Okay, and then Dorothy turned around, was like, oh, what the fuck? Was she in on it? Did she help Elphaba fake her death? That's the only logical conclusion. That Dorothy was in on it, and she helped Elphaba fake her death. It makes sense. I know that's not what happened. That's not what happened in the book either, but it makes sense. If Elphaba's really good and Dorothy's really good, she said, hey, listen here, I'll give you the broomstick, okay? Just tell everyone that you killed me. That would make perfect sense. That would fit in. That's not what happens here. You see what I mean? That's something Dorothy would agree to. But it doesn't happen here. Hell, even Glinda wouldn't mind that at all either. But Glinda doesn't know that Elphaba is faking her death here. Okay, Glinda thinks that Elphaba really died. Okay, so that's going on here. All right. Dorothy walks over, grabs the broomstick, she holds it up in victory. Ah! We see we see her do that from the back, and then she walks away. Okay, and Glinda's like, makes no sense at all. Makes no sense. Okay, moving right along, Glinda walks to Elphaba's hat. Yes, her hat's still there. Now, apparently, Elphaba's clothes disintegrated with the water, but her hat didn't. Because there's no empty clothes on the floor like there was in the original movie. All right. Anyway, Chissery shows up. Chissery is the blue monkey, flying monkey. Okay, the only one that talks. Okay, the only one you remember. And Chissery, the blue monkey, gives Glinda a green vial. A green vial, okay? It's empty, but it's a green vial, like a flask, all right? Gives it to her, okay? And, of course, Glinda recognizes the flask. This looks exactly like the same flask that the wizard is always fucking drinking. When he's hiding back there behind his mechanical head, he's back there working in his, steampunk workshop. He's always fucking getting drunk. He's always drinking out of this green flask. It looks exactly like the one that Chissery just gave Glinda. So she recognizes it, all right? Glinda goes on horseback. She puts her hoodie back on because she's wearing boots. She puts her hoodie on. She gets on the horse that she stole from the Emerald City and starts riding towards the Emerald City, okay? Now, this flashes back to the beginning of the movie, okay? In the beginning of the last movie from last year, okay, we saw the witch's hat, on a puddle of water, the witch's hat. And then out the window, we saw someone with a hood on and a cape was riding on horseback. I assumed that was Elphaba, who just faked her death. And then further off in the distance, over the rainbow, we saw the back of Dorothy, Scarecrow, the Lion, and the Tin Man, and Dorothy was walking with the broomstick in her hand. Okay, so that was giving us a setting. Okay, now it's happening for sure. We know that the hooded figure on the horseback was actually Glinda. Okay, and the monkeys are there too. The blue monkeys are flying. They're all flying towards the Emerald City. Okay, now we get back to the wizard. Back at the Emerald City, the wizard is sitting there brooding and sulking in his workshop like he always does. Every time we see the wizard, he's always back there just or playing with his fucking model trains or shit, whatever he's doing. Okay, he's back there sulking as usual. He gets interrupted by Glinda. Glinda goes there and she informs him that Elphaba is dead. Okay, which is what the wizard wanted. Okay, she doesn't have the broom. He says, like, do you have the broomstick? And she's like, no, I don't have the broomstick, but I do have this. And she gives him the flask. Okay, the same flask the flask actually belongs to him. He recognized it. It's one of his. Okay, the green flask. Okay, and tells him that this belonged to Elphaba's mother. Now, we know now that back in the day, okay, I guess there's alcohol in there or some sort of date rape drug in there, but him, the wizard, when he was a younger man, the wizard and what was her name? Ophelia, Melina was Elphaba's mother, okay? She was a munchkin, she was a black girl, okay? So back in the day, when the wizard was new, he was fucking Melina. Now Melina was married to what's in it, Frexbar. Now Frexbar was the mayor or the governor of Munchkinland, okay? But his wife was always cheating on him, okay? Especially in the book, okay? But apparently, while Frexbar was away, Melina brought the wizard, okay, whose real name is Oscar Diggs, okay? And he brought over this green flask, and they were both drinking it. I guess they got fucked up, okay? And they had sex. Okay, and the wizard impregnated Melina. Now, of course, Melina, being the good munchkin, she didn't tell her husband that the baby's not his. Okay, but when she gave birth to Elphaba 9 months later, Melina died giving birth. Okay, and Elphaba was born with green skin. So immediately, Frexbar hated the baby, hated Elphaba, and hated her for the rest of his life. Okay, because she looked different. Treated her like shit, whereas he adored his other daughter, Nyssa Rose, okay, who looked like she was half black, half white, okay, but in the book, even Nyssa Rose wasn't his biological kid because she was fucking some guy named Turtleheart. But it was okay in the book because in the book, Frexbar, the governor, was also fucking Turtleheart. So he was okay. He was okay with Nyssa Rose being the child of the two people he loved most in the world. Did I mention that the guy that wrote this was gay? Did I mention that? Okay, well, spoiler, he was. He is. He's still alive. He's gay. All right. Anyway, so the wizard sees the green flask. Okay. She hands it to him. The wizard's confused at first when he sees it. Okay, and then slowly he comes to the realization, like he slowly comes to the realization, okay? We see a flashback of Elphaba's mother, Melina, the woman I told you about, getting drunk from the flask, okay? And then giving it back to the wizard, Oscar Diggs. Now, we saw this earlier in the last movie, but we never saw the face of the stranger. We just said it was a stranger. He showed up, he wore like one of those 1920s hats or something like that, vest, that kind of thing. But we never saw his face. All we knew was that Melina was fucking some other guy and it wasn't her husband. Okay, and they were both drinking this stuff from a green flask. But now we actually get to see the face. It's Jeff Goldblum. Okay? It's a Jewish guy who's 6'4". Okay, all right. So it's the wizard, Oscar Diggs. That's the Wizard of Oz's real name. Okay, it's Oscar Diggs. Okay, he was the one. She drank it, he drank it, and then she laid herself down, and he just fucking went to town, all fly on her, right? Malcolm from Jurassic Park, he just, mathematical, variations, whatever. Anyway, so he went down on her. Okay, he dicked her down. Okay, and she got pregnant, right? Before he fucks her. Yes. So we see a CGI young Jeff Goldblum, okay, like from Jurassic Park or The Fly, that kind of thing. Yeah, that thing, all right? And you know, so he realizes he is Elphaba's father. Ooh, that means that he just killed his daughter. Ooh. Okay. Now earlier in the last movie, when we were introduced to the wizard, he was dancing around. He sang that song about how like he wants to be a father to. He's always wanted to be a father, you know, and all that. Okay. Well, he was actually singing that song to his actual biological daughter. He did not realize that was I thought he knew that was his biological daughter. That's why he summoned her to Oz. But now we realize he didn't know that. It was just a coincidence. Okay. So that's going on here, and of course, in true libtard fashion, okay, children hate their dads. Okay, that's through everything produced by Hollywood. Okay, is that okay? Children hate their fucking fathers, or if they even have a father. Okay, usually they have two mothers. All right, so Glinda's there, okay, and she says that's why she was so powerful. She was a child of both worlds. That makes no sense at all. Okay, the wizard's like, oh my lord, what have I done? Right? Okay, and Glinda's like, you have caused great harm, which is why you'll be leaving Oz today. Like, who the fuck is she, okay, to give him ultimatums? Okay, she has no power over him. No power at all. She doesn't even have any magical powers. So why the fuck would the wizard obey her and fucking and accept exile from the land? Why would he do that? It makes no sense at all. Nobody thought this through when they wrote this. That's one of the reasons this movie isn't as good as the last one. Okay? Okay, he left this is not what happened in the original movie. Obviously, he left so that he could in the original movie, the reason he left Oz was so that he could keep his promise to Dorothy and take her home. Okay, but since he has no powers, he had to personally take her home. He had to get her into his hot air balloon and fly her back to Kansas. Okay, that's why he left Oz, to keep his promise, because he was a good guy. Yes, he was a fake and a charlatan, but fundamentally he was a good guy. Okay, just like the charlatan that she met when she ran away from home in the black and white section of the movie. Okay, she met Mr. Marvel, whatever. Okay, and he lied to her. Okay, to get her to go back to her family because she had run away. You see what I mean? Yes, he was a fake, but he did it for a good reason. He tried to help this little girl get back home. You see what I mean? He knew that running away at her age is too dangerous for her. Okay, and it would hurt the people that she loves. All right, so then that's what this wizard is. All right, so he left so he could personally take Dorothy back to Earth. Okay, he was keeping his promise to Dorothy's team. Okay, that's why he went back, not because Glinda told him he had to. Okay, now the wizard looks. If you see the look on his face, he looks like he just shit himself. Okay, and Glinda says like, "Did you hear what I said?" He's like, "What will I tell the people?" So when the fuck did he become such a pussy? Why the fuck is he intimidated by Glinda all this? He was never intimidated by her at any time during this movie. Now he is? What has changed? What has changed as far as his power dynamic goes? Okay, as far as he's concerned, the biggest threat to him is dead now. If anything, this should make him more powerful. Why is he afraid of Glinda? Why is he intimidated by Glinda now? It makes no fucking sense. If anything, he doesn't need Glinda anymore. He can get rid of her. Because the people are loyal to him, not to her. You see what I mean? You know, she's like, what do I tell the people? And she's like, well, make something up. You're good at that. And that kind of fucking, this is just some talking down to. Makes no fucking sense. Okay, now how the hell is Glinda going to enforce the wizard leaving? How's she going to make the wizard leave? What, those monkeys? Okay, the wizard's got more guards than those monkeys. Okay? So what the fuck? How's he going to enforce this? Okay, what can she do if he refuses? What is she going to do to him if he refuses? Is she going to kill him? The people are going to want to know where the wizard is if she does that. How's she going to cover that up? Okay, and then Madame Morrible would help him too. And she is a wizard. She can fight back. Okay? Okay, Glinda has no power here. Okay, she can't even read the fucking Grimoire. She can't even cast spells. Okay? She's riding around in a fucking bubble machine. Okay? A machine that makes a bubble. She's faking it. She's faking to the citizens of Oz that she has powers. She's walking around with a fucking wand because people think that she has magical powers. She has no magical powers. Okay? if she outs the wizard, she's going to have to out herself too, and then no one's going to follow her because she's just as much of a fucking liar as him. You see what I mean? It's like when the Russians stormed Berlin at the end of World War II, okay? And all of a sudden these Germans, these fucking Nazis started being like, oh no, I'm here to help you guys. Yeah, I was against him the whole time, man. Yeah, I'm with you guys now. I never followed Hitler. No, I'm with you. You see what I mean? It's not, no one's going to fucking believe it. Anyway, so that's all going on here, okay? She leaves the wizard alone, okay, in his steampunk office, and he looks like he's all depressed, and he wants to 86 himself, okay? He just sits there all depressed, like, where the fuck did that come from? When the fuck did he become such a pussy? Okay, this changes nothing. He's still in power. Just because he realized he killed his daughter by accident doesn't take away who he is. You see what I mean? So what the fuck? Anyway, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back to continue my review. We're almost done with Wicked for Good. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.